Commissioner Gordon, Bane has escaped.
The decision to keep your plans to yourself acts as a powerful seal that prevents your internal energy from leaking out into the world. When you talk about what you are going to do, your brain often feels a fake sense of victory that stops you from actually doing the hard work. You must learn to value the quiet space where your ideas can grow without being judged or shaped by the small minds of others. This privacy allows you to build a foundation that is solid because it was not made for the sake of getting attention or likes. Your true power is gathered in the moments when no one is watching and you are focused only on the task. Privacy is a rare and precious resource that gives you the freedom to make mistakes and learn from them without feeling the weight of public shame. If you share every step of your journey, you are inviting the doubts and the fears of the crowd into your creative process before it is ready. You should treat your goals like a hidden seed that needs the dark and the quiet of the earth to grow into a tall and sturdy tree. By keeping your mouth shut, you are making sure that your drive remains pure and is not watered down by a desire to impress people. The depth of your progress is measured by the quality of your labor and not the volume of your voice. A person who moves without making a sound is far more dangerous and effective than one who announces their every move to the world. You gain a massive advantage when people do not know what you are building or how close you are to finishing the mission you have set. This mystery creates a sense of authority and gravity around your presence because your results will eventually arrive with the force of a sudden storm. You must develop the discipline to work on your craft until the quality of the output is so high that it becomes impossible for the world to ignore. Let the excellence of your finished product be the only message you send to those who doubted your path. The noise of the modern age is a constant distraction that tries to pull you away from the deep focus required to build a legacy. Most individuals are so busy broadcasting their lives that they never have the time to actually develop a skill that has real value or lasting impact. You must choose to be different by stepping back from the digital chatter and the hollow praise that comes from people who are not in the arena. This withdrawal is not an act of hiding, but an act of strategic preparation for a level of success that others cannot even imagine. Your focus is a weapon that is sharpened in the silence of a long and focused night of work. Building your dream in secret protects your spirit from the envy and the negative energy of those who have already given up on their own lives. When you show your half-finished work to the world, you are giving others the chance to poke holes in your vision before it is strong enough to stand. You must be the only judge of your progress for a long time so that your internal standards remain high and are not influenced by the mediocre. This solitude is the forge where your character is tempered and made ready for the high stakes of a life lived at the peak. Trust the process and keep your eyes on the work instead of the crowd. A deep sense of peace comes to those who realize that they do not owe the world an explanation for the way they spend their time. You are the master of your own hours and your own energy, and you have the right to disappear from the public eye to pursue your calling. This time away from the social loop allows you to reconnect with your own original thoughts and to build something that is truly unique and powerful. You are not a content creator meant to entertain the masses, but a builder meant to leave a mark that will stand for 1,000 years. Reclaiming your time is the first step toward reclaiming your future and your name. The results you produce when you are focused on the work alone will always be superior to the work you do when you are looking for a reaction. Real mastery requires a level of patience that is almost impossible to find in a society that demands instant results and quick rewards for minimal effort. You must be willing to spend months or even years in the shadows of the valley before you are ready to step into the light of the summit. This period of hidden growth is what creates the root system that will support your success when the winds of fame and pressure begin to blow. You are building for the long term. Every morning you spend in quiet labor is a deposit into a bank of capability that will eventually give you the freedom to live life on your own terms. You do not need to post about your early start or your late finish to make the work count toward your ultimate victory in this world. The universe sees the effort you put in when no one else is looking, and it will reward you with a level of skill that cannot be faked. This internal wealth is far more valuable than the temporary high of a comment or a share from a stranger on the internet. You are training yourself to be a person of real substance and weight. When you open the floor to the opinions of others, you are essentially letting a committee of people who do not have to live with the consequences of your life drive your choices. Each person brings their own baggage and their own fears to the table, and they will try to paint your future with the colors of their own past failures. You must protect the clarity of your own mind by realizing that your path is yours alone to walk and understand. To reach the top of your mission, you have to be the sole pilot of your own ship. The act of announcing your next move before you have taken the first step is a silent trap that robs you of the pressure needed to move forward. Sharing your vision with the world gives your brain a cheap hit of joy that makes you feel as though the work is already finished when it hasn't even begun. This public talk drains the fuel from your internal engine and leaves you with nothing but empty words and a lack of real momentum in the physical world. You should keep your plans locked away in a dark and quiet place until the results are too massive to be ignored by anyone. Real power is found in the action that takes place behind closed doors and away from the noise. Listening to individuals who have never achieved the results you desire is like asking a person who has never seen the ocean for directions to the coast. You are surrounded by people who are eager to give you advice on how to live a grand life while they are still stuck in a cycle of safety and boredom. Their words are often just a reflection of their own inability to take a risk or to commit to a difficult and lonely path of excellence. You must be ruthless about whose voice you allow into your head and whose standards you choose to measure your own progress against today. Seek the guidance of the few who have actually done the work and have the scars to prove it. A mind that is constantly looking for validation from the crowd will never be able to stand firm when the storms of life begin to blow against its foundation. You have been taught to look for a consensus and to wait for a green light from society before you take a bold step toward your true potential. This need for a safe and easy path is what keeps you in a state of paralysis while the years slip through your fingers like dry sand. You must develop the internal structure to make a choice and stay with it, even when the rest of the world thinks you have lost your way. True authority is born in the moments when you choose to trust your own logic over the fears of others. Your internal drive is a sacred resource that should be guarded with your life against the interference of those who do not share your hunger or your vision. Every time you explain your goals to a person who is comfortable being average, you are allowing them to chip away at the edges of your resolve with their doubts. They will tell you to be realistic and to stay within the lines, because your ambition makes them feel uneasy about their own lack of movement and growth. You must learn to operate in a way that is invisible to the eyes of the uninspired, so that your progress can happen without the weight of their judgment. Your life is too short to be lived for the sake of making others feel okay. Consider the reality that the people who are the loudest with their advice are often the ones who have the least amount of skin in the game of your future. They can offer their thoughts with no risk to their own comfort, because they will not be there to pick up the pieces if things go wrong for you. You are the only one who will feel the heat of the fire and the weight of the burden, so you must be the only one who decides how to carry it. This sovereign responsibility is the price of admission for a life that is lived on your own terms and with a sense of real purpose. Stop treating your life like a public forum where everyone gets a vote on what you should do next. The results you produce are the only form of communication that carries any real weight in a world that is already filled with useless talk and empty promises. You do not need to defend your choices or explain your reasons to people who have no interest in seeing you reach the peak of your capacity. If you spend your energy trying to convince others that your path is correct, you will have no energy left to actually walk that path to the very end. Let the quality of your labor and the impact of your finished work be the only evidence that you provide for the validity of your vision. Silence is the most powerful weapon in the hands of a person who knows exactly where they are going. Maturity is the realization that most advice is just a projection of the speaker's own limitations and their desire to stay within a zone of comfort. You must filter every word that comes your way through the lens of your own mission and your own set of high and noble standards for your life. If the person talking to you has not built anything of value, then their words have no place in the design of your own legendary future. You are building a character that is meant to last for a lifetime, and you cannot use cheap materials provided by people who do not understand the craft. Focus on the work and let the noise of the crowd fade into the background. Every morning provides a chance to reset your focus and to shut the door on the voices that have been holding you back from your true self. You do not need to be a part of the social loop that demands you share your thoughts and your progress with a world that is already distracted by the shallow. You can choose to step into the quiet and build a version of your life that is so solid and so real that it does not need a single word of explanation. This internal peace is the hallmark of a spirit that has moved beyond the need for external praise or a hollow sense of belonging to the masses. You are the author of your own book and the judge of your own work. You move through the world believing you are making free choices, but you are actually following a map drawn by authority figures who wanted you to be manageable and safe. These external voices planted seeds of duty and fear in your head long before you were old enough to ask if those goals even fit the person you wanted to become. Because you have accepted this information as your own identity, you are now a prisoner of a life that feels heavy and wrong. You must realize that the anxiety you feel is your soul trying to break out of a story that you did not write for yourself. A silent filtering system operates within your brain every single second to decide which parts of reality are worth your attention and which parts should be ignored. This system is tuned to the goals of your current identity, meaning that if your goal is just to fit in, your mind will only see the paths that lead to the middle of the crowd. You are literally blind to the massive opportunities and the life-changing skills that are floating all around you because they do not match the narrow script you were given. This is why you feel stuck in a loop while others seem to find doors where you only see solid walls of stone and glass. You are not lacking in talent, but you are lacking a lens that allows you to see the true wealth of the world. Developing a sense of radical curiosity is the only way to shatter the narrow cage of information that has been built around your awareness by a society that fears your independence. If you do not have a spark of rebellion in your chest, you will continue to follow the rules of a game that was designed to make you a servant rather than a leader of your own destiny. You must start asking why you believe the things you do and where those ideas originally came from in your early years of growth. Every piece of information you take in should be checked against your own inner truth rather than the expectations of your parents or your old teachers. This mental audit is the first step toward reclaiming your sight and your ability to act with real and focused intent. The danger of a borrowed identity is that it turns your mind into a machine that actively rejects the very information you need to escape your current level of suffering and lack. You might walk past a book or a conversation or a job opportunity every single day that contains the exact key to your future freedom, but your brain throws it away as useless data. This happens because your unconscious goals are still set to seek the approval of a system that does not care if you ever reach your full potential or find your fire. You are living in a house with locked doors while the keys are sitting right on the table in front of your eyes, hidden by your own mental fog. It is time to wake up and change the settings of your own internal compass. Real progress in this life is not about gathering more information, but about deleting the junk data that has been clogging up your ability to think for yourself and move with power. You have been fed a diet of rewards and punishments that has trained you to be afraid of making a mistake or going against the grain of the common path. This training has made you a slave to the opinions of others and has left you unable to hear the quiet instructions of your own heart and your own unique genius. To find your way out of the maze, you must be willing to let go of the person you were taught to be, so that you can find the person you were born to be. The transition is painful, but the reward is the total ownership of your time. Consider the reality that the goals planted in your head by others were never meant to lead you to a life of legendary impact or deep and lasting satisfaction. They were meant to make you a good student or a quiet employee or a predictable citizen who does not cause trouble for those who hold the levers of control. If you continue to let these old programs run your life, you will reach the end of your days and realize that you never actually lived a single moment for yourself. You owe it to your future self to burn down the old map and start exploring the edges of the world with a heart that is no longer afraid of being judged. You are the only one who can save your life from the trap of a boring and safe existence. The amount of life-changing information that passes you by on a daily basis would shock you if you could see the world without the filters of your current narrow and safe identity. You are missing the chance to learn new ways of making money and new ways of thinking and new ways of building a body that is a fortress of health and grit. Because your mind is pigeon-holed into the disappearing opportunities of a dying world, you are working harder and harder for smaller and smaller rewards every year. You must break the cycle by intentionally seeking out information that challenges your current reality and forces you to grow into a new and more capable shape. This is the work of a master who is no longer willing to be a victim of his own mind. A new identity requires a new set of goals that are born from your own desires and your own vision for what a great life should actually look like in the real world. When you choose your own goals, Your mind starts to work for you instead of against you, searching the environment for the tools and the people you need to win. You will start to notice things you never saw before, and the world will begin to open up in ways that feel like magic but are actually just the result of a clear and focused mind. This shift in awareness is the true meaning of taking the lead in your own story and refusing to be a background character any longer. You are the captain of your soul and the judge of your own progress. The habit of following the script is a comfort that leads to a slow death of your creativity and your ability to adapt to a future that is becoming more uncertain every day. If you stay within the lines drawn by your past, you will be crushed by the changes that are coming for everyone who is not prepared to innovate and to fight for their own place. You must develop a spirit of curiosity that is so intense it drives you to look under every rock and question every truth you have ever been told by an authority figure. This is how you find the secrets that the masses miss and how you build a life that is truly your own and not a copy. Your mind is the ultimate weapon if you know how to use it. You must learn to relax the grip on your ego so that the natural flow of your observation can take over and reveal the hidden patterns of the world. This quiet state of awareness is where the most powerful thoughts are born because they are not being filtered through a desire to impress a crowd. By letting go of the need to be unique, you actually open the door for a voice that is truly and purely your own to speak. Finding books and scrolls that are no longer in the hands of the masses is a strategic way to feed your brain a diet of information that hasn't been chewed up by the public. If you only consume the same trending topics and bestsellers as the rest of the world, your thoughts will inevitably follow the same narrow and predictable tracks as everyone around you. You should seek out the dusty volumes and the forgotten wisdom of ages that have been buried by the noise of the digital era and the shallow trends of today. This unique input acts as a raw material that allows you to build a perspective that is fresh and sturdy because it is not built on the consensus of the crowd. Your mind becomes a sanctuary for ideas that have the power to change the direction of a life. Bringing an old and forgotten concept back into the light of the modern day is a form of alchemy that can turn a common truth into a tool for massive transformation. Many of the greatest problems we face today have already been solved by individuals who lived hundreds of years ago in a world that was far more difficult than our own. You do not need to invent a new wheel when you can take a classic principle and apply it to a new challenge with a level of focus that is rare in this age. This process of resurfacing old wisdom allows you to stand on the shoulders of giants while you build a future that is entirely your own design. You are breathing new life into the bones of the past to create a weapon for your future. The act of writing down your thoughts from a place of total honesty is the only way to discover what you actually believe beneath the layers of social conditioning and fear. When you put a pen to paper and commit to a single idea, you are forced to strip away the vague fluff and the borrowed slogans that usually fill a distracted mind. This practice turns your internal chaos into a sharp and usable logic that can guide your actions and your decisions with a sense of absolute certainty and grit. You must be willing to look at your own perspective as a valid source of authority that does not need a stamp of approval from an external source or a public figure. Your words have the power to define the rules of your own reality and your name. Committing to a single daily habit that the rest of the world avoids is a practical way to train your character to operate on a level that is beyond the reach of the average. Whether it is waking up in the dark or sitting in total silence for an hour, These small acts of defiance build a spine that can handle the weight of a legendary mission. You are proving to yourself every single day that you are not a slave to the comforts or the trends that keep others stuck in a cycle of mediocrity and slow decay. This consistency is the foundation of a life that is lived with a sense of high purpose and a refusal to settle for a standard that is beneath your potential. You are forging a new identity through the fire of your own discipline. Questioning every belief you hold is a necessary act of mental hygiene that keeps your spirit from being weighed down by the heavy chains of a false and borrowed identity. Even the things you know to be true should be put on trial so that you can see if they are actually serving your goals or if they are just ghosts of your past. You have been carrying around the rules of people who did not have your best interests at heart, and it is time to throw away anything that does not contribute to your rise. This total audit of your mind is a painful process, but it is the only way to ensure that your foundation is built on the solid rock of truth. You are the architect of your own belief system and the judge of your own growth. The silence of a focused mind is the forge where the most dangerous and effective strategies for a better life are created and refined over a long period of time.